lesson, you'll learn how to play My Favorite Things using two beautiful fingerpicking patterns. Now, I'll be using my tenor with low G tuning throughout the lesson, but you can also follow along with high G tuning as well. So let's get started. Throughout this song, all of the chords are held for 3 beats. For pattern 1, we're only going to use strings 1, 2, and 3. So this pattern will sound exactly the same with both high and low G tuning. Here's how this pattern sounds at a slow tempo on an E minor chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and at a faster tempo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. To pick this pattern, we'll start on the 3rd string with our thumb, and we'll pick this string twice, then the 2nd string with our index finger, and then the 1st string with our middle finger. We start the song introduction by playing pattern 1 twice on E minor. Now to play E minor, we have our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and ring finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Taking a look at the verses, for the chords that appear in standard font, we'll continue to use pattern 1. And then when we get to the chords in bold in line 3, we'll change to pattern 2. So beginning with line 1, we're going to stay on our E minor chord. And here we'll play pattern 1 4 times, once for each of the E minor chords on this line. Then in line 2, we're going to a C major 7 chord. For this chord, we'll leave our index finger in place on the 1st string, and we'll lift up our middle and ring fingers. Now we have 4 C major 7 chords in line 2. So let's count the rhythm of lines 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. In line 3, we're moving to an A minor chord. Here we're covering the 2nd fret of the 4th string. I like to use my index finger for A minor in this particular song because it makes it a bit easier to transition to the 2 chords that come next. So now we're moving to pattern 2 because A minor appears in bold. So here's how pattern 2 sounds at a slow tempo on A minor. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And at a faster tempo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. To play this pattern, we'll start on the 4th string with our thumb, then the 3rd string with our index finger, and then strings 1 and 2 together with our ring and middle fingers. Pattern 2 will sound different with high G tuning compared to low G tuning because we do use the 4th string in this pattern. So here's how it sounds on an A minor chord at a slow tempo with high G tuning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And at a faster tempo, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we'll play pattern 2 one time on A minor, and then we go to a D7 chord. This is a Hawaiian D7 covering the 2nd fret of strings 4 and 2. So we'll keep our index finger in place and add our middle finger to the 2nd string. And then we go to a G chord. For G, we have our index and middle fingers covering the 2nd fret of strings 3 and 1, and our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Next we go to a C chord, still on pattern 2. Now here I like to use my pinky for C, because in line 4 we go right back to G. But if you prefer, you could use your ring finger for C, and then move it back to the second string to form your G chord. If you're enjoying this lesson, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what other songs you'd like to learn, and please show my channel some love by giving this video a thumbs up. Continuing line 4, after our G chord we go back to C, staying on pattern 2, then we go back to A minor, and then we go to a B7 chord. For B7 we have our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, and ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And then at the end of line 4, we go back to E minor, and we change back to pattern 1. For this chord transition from B7 to E minor, we're moving the entire chord shape down one string. So we're starting on B7 by covering strings 2, 3, and 4, and we move this entire shape down one string to cover strings 1, 2, and 3. So let's count the rhythm of lines 3 and 4 at a slow tempo, starting on A minor. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The second verse is played the same way as verse 1 until we get to the end of line 4. So after we play pattern 2 on B7, instead of going to E minor like we did in verse 1, we're going to an E chord with pattern 1. For E, we have our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and our middle and ring fingers on the 4th fret of strings 3 and 2. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Lara. I'm a musician and a composer, and I love to teach song tutorials and fingerstyle arrangements. I hope you have fun exploring my channel, where you'll find tutorials for all levels. If you'd like to download my song sheets, fingerstyle tabs, or song books, you'll find them all on Patreon. The link is down below in the video description. Next, we're going to look at our third verse and then the outro to finish the song. Moving into verse 3, once again, we're going to use pattern 1 on the first 2 lines. But instead of using E minor and C major 7, here we're going to use E on the first line and A on the second line. So in the first line, we'll play pattern 1 4 times on E, and in line 2, we'll play pattern 1 4 times on A. Now for our A chord, since we're not using the 4th string in pattern 1, essentially we're forming an A7 chord shape. We have our index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Lines 3 and 4 of verse 3 use the same chord progression that we used in the first 2 verses, but here line 4 is going to end on our B7 chord. From here we move to the outro of the song. Now for each of the chords that's underlined, I like to pick all 4 strings together. Here we're really emphasizing the chords at a louder volume as we're approaching the end of the song. But if you prefer, you could play pattern 1 or pattern 2 on each of these underlined chords. So let's count the rhythm of lines 1, 2, and 3 of the outro. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, changing to pattern 2, as most of these chords appear in bold until we get to our final G chord, which is underlined, and here I like to pick all 4 strings. I want to point out that in line 4, we're using an A7 chord for the first time in this song. This is the same chord shape that we used for our partial A chord in verse 3, where we weren't using the 4th string. So here's how A7 sounds on pattern 2. Let's count the rhythm of lines 4 and 5 of the outro. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're moving into our play along, where you can play and sing along with me for the entire song, just as we've covered in this lesson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. I hope you've enjoyed learning these beautiful patterns to play my favorite things. Have fun practicing, and thanks for watching.